Hello everyone. On today's video build, I'm going to be going back to the Klingon battle cruiser from Star Trek The Motion Picture, the Katinga, and I'm going to be testing a dental acrylic polymer product to fill in these engine exhaust ports and the torpedo tube port, which I'm going to put a tube on here to sink it farther in, and but these need to be filled, and instead of trying to fill these with clear styrene, I'm going to use the dental acrylic. And I'm going to test this before I do it on this part. I'm going to test it on this part from the original series 1350 Enterprise kit. This is the pilot version, which I'm not using in my current build of this vessel. So I'm going to use the dental acrylic to fill in these windows and test this and see how well this works. I want to make sure I test it because some people have told me on, I've heard on SciFi Model Action Forum and elsewhere, that some dental acrylics don't get hard enough and stayed soft and really didn't work well for them. This product was one that Steve Neal in one of his build videos was recommending to his viewers. So I'm going to be testing this. This is from Berman Industries, and this is the dental acrylic powder, and this is the monomer, the liquid set for the dental acrylic. So I'm going to be testing this up, and let's get right to it. Okay, to fill these windows, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some painter's tape on the outside, which I want to put down over these windows and make sure it's well rubbed down to make sure it's good and tight. Make sure you also don't have any wrinkles in it right above the windows, and I don't, so that's fine. So it's nice and flush on there and set really good. There we go. Oh, I'm off the side over here, so let's peel this back off. We tear this one up off there, make sure that's seated well, and then come in here and lay this one, make sure I've got good coverage over these particular windows. And that those are set. That's set really well. So that should be able to hold it. Now this is the powder. And if you've never seen dental acrylic before, it sort of looks like sugar. It even sparkles like it, like a finely ground up sugar. And what you do is you come in here and you pour the powder, filling the cavities of the windows up. And I wish I had a smaller spoon because I've obviously got a little bit too much in there. So let me pour that back out to a degree, tap it and reseat it. You get just the right amount this time and fill in on those windows. Tap it down. Let me set that down. And this is the monomer. Now you need to use this in a highly ventilated area. This product is very dangerous in terms of health, and you need something like an eyedropper like this one, because all you're going to do is take a little bit out and drip it onto this to where you dampen up the acrylic powder. Okay, just a few drops in. Now we'll set it down and let it harden up and take a look at the results. Well, let's see. It's been a few minutes and it is already set up. Yep, it has completely set and seems to be pretty hard. So let's pull the tape off and see what we've got here. A little powder had come down underneath. but it looks to me like that's set up really well. Yeah. And what I need to do is get a light source. There's one so we can see. Let me get the camera up on this as good as I can. And see if it'll focus. Now I have a little bit of a bubble right there on that one. I should have paid more attention when I was putting the monomer in. But the windows are nice and flush. They're not crystal clear, but dental acrylic isn't crystal clear unless it's set under pressure, from what I understand. But on most models, you don't really want clear windows because you don't want people to be able to see completely into them. You do want them to shine up properly with lighting, and that's pretty nice. Let me rig up another light here. Hold on just a moment. I got a couple wired up little cool white 3mm LEDs here, and pop that down on top of there so you can see an example of that lighting. Now I did notice that I do have that one bubble that I mentioned right here, and I have a small bubble over here on the other side on this window, so I need to make sure when I do my second test on the other side of this piece that I go through, just like probably dealing with just like epoxy, and make sure I don't have any bubbles in there, and if I do, move the dental acrylic around a little bit before it completely sets to get rid of the air bubbles. So that I think is going to work, and it's interesting to see how that's going to look with red, which I'm going to use on the Klingon battle cruiser. So the other thing I'll do is see how easy it is to remove this dental acrylic from the window after it's set up, if something comes out really bad and you need to repair one. So I'm going to try that and see how that goes. Now let's see here, cutting this acrylic out from the kit part. Oh, that's not too hard to do. You can see that you definitely need to make sure that you cut it all the way across, though, because it will pull out from the rest of it. But that's good, because that's going to allow me to do some more testing, and I'll be able to clean that window port up with just a little bit of debris removal. Sounds like for New Year's, even though the sun's still up, my neighbors are getting a head start with fireworks, and obviously my puppy Sarah is not a happy puppy in relation to that. But let's try cleaning this up a little bit more. Let me get this cleaned up and I'll be right back, and we'll try this little experiment again. Well, let's take a look at the results of the redo, and when replacing these right here, and those look really good. Now on the Klingon vessel I'm going to be using red. Now I'm going to be using red LED tape, but I've got a 3mm red LED here just to give a little bit of an idea of what that looks like. And the windows I replaced were this one, and this one. I did not replace this one here with the slight bubble in it, or this one in the back, because I found one on this one here too. After I was much more careful on filling these with the liquid and everything, and they resulted in absolutely no bubbles at all. So this part's not light blocked on the inside. It just has some primer on the outside, Krylon primer. But you can see what that looks like. Hopefully the camera's picking that up well. That looks pretty good. I'm very impressed. And the product is pretty hard. And here's what I took out. And it's a little bit flexible, but it is definitely a hard product. It's not something you can just easily crush. So I guess some of the dental acrylics or acrylics that people have been using, nail polish powdered acrylics, are a lot softer. This particular acrylic, as I said, is from Berman Industries. And it is dental acrylic polymer, clear. This happens to be the 11 ounce, and www.bermanfoam.com. I think they also have a web address of Berman.com or Berman Industries or BermanInd.com, one or the other. But if you Google Berman Industries, you'll get their website as well, besides the foam stuff. And this is a 11 ounce container. This will obviously last for a very long period of time. And the other item that you will have to have is the monomer for it. And I got this also from Berman Industries. And it's an 8 ounce container of the liquid. So this will last me in the work that I'm going to do for a really long time. If I remember correctly, these two items together were probably somewhere in the $30 or so range. I ordered a few other things from Berman at the same time, so I'm not so for sure. But you do have to remember, when you go to their website, it doesn't tell you, it's not clear, so you need to remember you have to buy what's listed as a dental acrylic. They don't have a link directly right there on that one with this to this, the monomer, so you have to make sure you order the monomer for the dental acrylic at the same time. So I hope that helps some modelers and answers some questions that some people have had. So the next thing I'm going to do to wrap up this video is I am going to fill in these parts, get the Katinga, and light up the red LED strip that I have in it, and take a look at what this will look like. Okay, I have attached a piece of tube styrene to the back of this port. And this is Evergreen 11/32 or 8.7 millimeter tube that you can get at your craft and hobby stores. And I've attached that to the back because this port, I don't want the dental acrylic to be here at the surface. I want it to be back here at the back. So I'm going to tape this off and fill this and let that solidify up because I want some depth to this port. The impulse ports, which I have here, I'm going to tape from the front and fill those with dental acrylic so that the dental acrylic is flush. And before I do that, I'm going to have to seal this little tube up because my cut is slightly off. And I'm going to use tulip, black tulip, to do that, which is this product that you can get at hobby stores. It's another little trick that I learnt from watching Steve Neal on his light blocking issues. He didn't mention it, I don't think, on the video, but tulip is an acrylic based product, and it is great for light blocking. And what's nice about that, it'll seal that up nicely so I won't get any bleeds around that tube coming off on the edges. And when the inside of the tube gets painted in, you're not going to be able to see see any issues there at all. So let me go ahead and put in the dental acrylic and see how this will look. The port's taped off at the back, and I'm going to put just a tiny bit of polymer in here. Let me adjust the camera. We'll see how that sets up. I think I need some more. Down there and get that level. Then we'll go ahead and add in the monomer. Will get added, and that's only going to require a very tiny bit. I went ahead and filled it in, and it's all solidified up. So let me prepare the model real quick. I have a piece of LED tape already put into the model base, and let's see if I can line this up so you can get an understanding of how that's going to look. I mean, to me that looks pretty good. I'm very impressed with the diffusion capabilities of that. And it's not focusing. Let me see if I can get up on it with the camera and that it'll step down if I'm lucky. Yeah, maybe not. But hopefully you can tell how well diffused that is, and I'm really pleased with that look. I think that's going to turn out really, really well. I'm going to wait until I paint this piece before I fill these in, so I don't have to worry about masking off the impulse engine ports. But that's it, and I hope that helps everyone. So thanks for watching, and happy modeling, everyone. Take care now.